can't remember who it is.
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore. That's
Eagles offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah, the three finalists are Kellen Moore, Mike Kafka, and it's Anthony Weaver, defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins.
So if
that's what I heard.
Moore is the front runner right now.
I'm gonna guess it's Kellen Moore. So,
but I've also seen chatter that Moore might not want the head coaching job because he's got a good thing going in Philadelphia. So then I think the second front runner is Mike Kafka. He made that very clear by the fact that he wanted to go take that interview with the Seattle Seahawks, who were offering him an offensive coordinator job potentially where he would have been calling plays. So I think Kafka wants to call the plays, and I think he wants to do that, whether it's with the Giants or Seattle or New Orleans, doesn't matter. It's what he wants to do. So the fact that the Giants didn't let him do that last year was a little bit weird. And the fact that the results were as poor as they were tells me that they probably will let him do it this year if he's here. But if he leaves, I don't see a point in just rescinding play calling duties for the sake of it and you let Kafka do it. If not, then I think you just maintain them and you keep calling the plays yourself.
Chris, how do you feel that'll play out?
Yeah, and the other silver lining I want to throw in there, which we've probably said on the show before, if Kafka does get that job, we get a compensation pick because he's a quarter Puerto Rican. Whatever. But as far as this is my theory on the Kafka situation. If I was Joe Schoen, I would want Kafka calling the plays, and I'm going to explain why, if he's back. Not to mention, I think Kafka is going to want to call the plays, regardless, right? Because he's somewhat in demand at this point. He's getting a lot of head coaching opportunities. And as a fan, even though I was in favor of Daboll taking over the play calling duties, at this point, it didn't work last year. I think he needs to focus on being more of a head coach, more of a CEO to overlook everything. Still, obviously, have a lot of say in the offensive game plan week to week. That's his specialty. But I would prefer Kafka, if he is back, to be the play caller. But if I was Joe Schoen, a major reason why I would want Kafka being the play caller, there's a very good chance if the team sucks next year, there's going to be a ton of pressure to fire Brian Daboll. I'm assuming Shane's going to be back. I know Anthony disagrees with me. I'm assuming Shane's going to be back if we draft a quarterback early in this year's draft. I'm not super sure about Daboll if the team wins 4 games. But what was the one thing we were really concerned with and we hated, or at least I did? I know, Bad Dog, at the time you wanted to fire Shermer, but in hindsight, I think you kind of agreed with me that you thought it was a better idea to keep Pat Shermer for a second year with Daniel Jones because it was a catastrophe.
Because we got Joe Judge, so yeah, hindsight.
Yeah, if you give
yes, Kafka I did not want Shermer staying around. No,
if you give Kafka the play calling duties, not that I'm advocating for this, not that I would be, yelling for him to become the head coach if you fire Daboll, but it at least gives you that option. And it doesn't break up. You don't have to worry about the quarterback having to learn a new playbook the next year if you were to transition Kafka to replace Daboll, if you had to go that route. I'm not saying I'm calling for that. I'm hoping Daboll gets to keep his job and the team has a great year. But at least if Kafka's calling the plays, it's a little bit more, you have a little bit more of a rapport with a guy like a Shedeur Sanders or a Cam Ward. He doesn't have to learn a whole new playbook. He doesn't have to get used to a whole new play caller. So it's at least an option. So I think it makes a world of sense, especially if you're drafting a rookie quarterback, knowing that there's a strong possibility Daboll may not be long for this job, that Kafka does take over the play calling duties for the betterment of the rookie quarterback.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can see where I can understand where Anthony's coming from, though. If we do draft a quarterback and we suck, it's possible they all get fired and we draft another quarterback. Possible. I mean, that, and then the quarterback's starting fresh. I mean, it is very possible. It sucks. We're already talking about this going into we haven't even got to the friggin' year yet. We're already talking about winning 4 games.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking long term.
No, I know, but this franchise is just in such complete disarray. It's
I mean, I'm excited for the quarterback. That's what I'm thinking about right now. That's where I think we're going. But when I think about these decisions, I think what could be an option long term if this were to be the case.